You're what? You're on like 2 years?
Yeah, just completed 2 years.
Right, right.
Starting my, yep, in master's now officially. Haven't even started my first master's meeting yet. So I'm like transitioning. Yeah.
Okay, so 2 years ago, give me a brief. What was it like? What was not working?
It's hard for me to tell the story without talking about the personal side of it a little bit
Yeah.
too, because this was like late 2022, early 2023. It's probably like the lowest place or just coming out sort of the lowest place of my entire life. Like, and I'm not young. So, I mean, I've had a lot of life experiences, but boy, I was really on my knees. I'd always had my own business. My twin was maybe 10 years into my business, but a lot of it trying to stay small. I was an independent practitioner. I teamed up with another agency. I did some work for them. I didn't have to have the overhead. I didn't have to have the team. So in my mind, I'm like, oh, I'm just going to keep it simple. I'm going to play it small. I still get kind of a guaranteed income. And then after a while, that wasn't working. Cash flow, they couldn't pay me on time. There's all kinds of things. So I was kind of felt forced into a corporate job again. Kept a little bit of consulting on the side as much as I could, but that corporate experience was just abusive and horrible. I mean, ended up sadly resulting in a lawsuit, and but all of that was happening at the time. At the same time, my son was going through a mental health crisis, my husband was going through a crisis, so I was sort of in the house kind of trying to make sure that food was on the table and make sure that all the balls are being juggled and that no one was really suffering so much. While doing that, I put my own needs, to the side. But we needed to figure out how to make money. I'm going to dredge this basis back up somehow. And how we're going to do that, I don't know. We've got to start from scratch. I mean, we really were. When I say like we were like starting over, we really were. We scraped all the income that we had was from that one business that at the time we were just kind of scraping, trying to get like a couple contracts together. So luckily, we did have like a couple contracts, maybe at like between 1 and 200,000 for that year.
Yeah.
But when I joined Bold Heart, I launched another business. So now I'm starting another one completely from scratch because I can't help myself. But it really was like, I mean, we didn't have any marketing. We didn't have websites. I didn't even have email addresses for these businesses at the
Yeah.
time.
Amazing. Take us to where you are now, just because I'm looking at, oh my gosh, I have a lot to cover.
So
Where are you
now
now?
the original business, last year we finished the year at about 1.2. So that's 2 years where we hit more than a million. And then the second business that I spun up when I first started Bold Heart, we ended the year last year at about a half a million, so about 500,000. So this year, yeah, so it was
Amazing.
pretty incredible in 2 years. And obviously our lives have changed, our teams. We now have teams of 16 people. I mean, I pinch myself sometimes like, oh, I had never would have thought this would be my life. And I love it. My team inspires me so much every day. Like I'm committed to hiring people who are smarter than me because it challenges me and it keeps me on my toes and it keeps me learning from them. And that's been really incredible.
What do you think the aspects of Bold Heart that helped you do that were? Was
Well,
it?
I mean, for me, like in the beginning, community was like everything because not only was I at horribly low time in my life, I was being treated for some anxiety and depression, and I needed community. I felt really isolated. And I had been a solopreneur long enough to know how isolating that already is. And if I was going to go back and try to do that again, I knew that that was going to be I wasn't going to be able to like be healthy mentally and do this in a way that wasn't, that was healthy without having community. And I live in a decent sized, suburb of Los Angeles, but I still struggled to find my tribe. I was really looking for people like me, and I couldn't find them in my town. I even couldn't even find them really in my region that was like accessible to me. So that was really my number one. And that's been everything. And then so much more. I mean, the mindset was like nothing I even thought I needed.
Yeah.
Obviously, I did. Clearly.
1 point, what now what was the math on that? 1.7?
1.7, and I might
1.2?
be even underestimating because I don't even look. I think it was like around two. It might be just under two last year, like the two of them combined. Yeah.
2
It's
billion.
funny because like I really did resonate with something you said. Like when you get to that million, like it's not going to be it's like so
I
anticlimactic.
say
It's
it's
so
anticlimactic. Yeah.
totally. It was totally the case for us. And in fact, I didn't realize it until, there was one day I was like, oh, wait, I think we just, oh my gosh. And then when I noticed it was like 1.1, and I said to my husband, like, should we celebrate? And he was like, all right. So we just like had a little, like, went to happy hour and did like a little cheers, and that was it.
Yeah, it's
But
about the woman you become.
exactly.
It's about the
It was,
woman.
that's everything for me. I'm a totally different person than I was 2 years ago. So I'm very grateful for that.
It's sometimes it's hard to believe, somebody who's listening to you, listening to, Katie and Leanne and Whitney and Diane, and to think like this is available for me. It's more like it's
Mhm.
so like that's great for Andrea, but it won't be for me. And
Well, I
it's
remember thinking that. I remember thinking that. It was Sarah Canal, I think,
yeah,
who was like speaking. This is
yeah,
same, it wasn't the Mindset Deep Dive, it was another event just like this. And she got on and she was talking about, and I thought, no way.
no fucking way.
Like she can do that, but I don't know. Like she's a special unicorn of a person. Like I remember thinking the exact same thing.
And right now somebody's thinking that about you.
Yeah, no.
But tell, are you a special unicorn?
No. No. I mean, I had a lot of experience, and I think like a lot of women, when you're sort of at a crossroads in your career, you've done a lot of different things, like where you're good at maybe a lot of things. There's a lot of different directions you could go, and it's like you're maybe afraid to make the wrong choice. I felt really kind of sort of stuck in like making a choice because there were so many different things I could do. And then but the process to getting there is just where I needed that roadmap.
Yeah.
I needed that recipe. And so yeah, I had a lot of experience and expertise, but like but that doesn't help you make money if you don't know how to use it and how to be brave enough to step into that.
I think it's the ego will keep those people like you and like Diane and Katie apart so that we don't grow. This is what I said to all of you before. You could be in the supermarket behind Andrea and she's putting stuff in her cart and you're both about to pay and you would have no idea that she's at 2 million because she's so normal. Same thing with Katie, same thing with Leanne, same thing with everybody. Um, you get to be a normal person. You don't have to fit in to a certain stereotype or a look, or it's like they keep saying, it's just a recipe. Do you want to bake the cake? Come, bake the cake. Get in my kitchen. I'm really nice. All my sous chefs here, they're really nice. They're really fun to cook with. Come and eat with us. And we can just be normal people, normalizing women making their own money and lots of it so they can have a voice and a choice and financial safety.
1,000%.
Thank you,
I
Andrea.
believe in that so much. Yeah. So thank you.
Yeah, thank you so much for sharing your story.